This is part one of a rundown of all of the Phillip Schofield and Holly Willoughby drama that is currently going on. Phillip Schofield and Holly Willoughby are the current presenters of the British daytime television series This Morning. This is basically just a daytime news show that covers things such as showbiz news, lifestyle tips, live phone-ins, competitions, things like that. This is a show that has won several awards, and Phil and Holly have been praised by viewers for their on-screen camaraderie, with compilations of their funniest moments, often going viral.
Have you seen videos of like Phil and Holly together, like their viral clips and stuff? They're always laughing.
The one that I remember is they were talking to some Italian chef, and he said something about bacon, or I can't remember what it was, and they would just both burst into laughter. But outside of them just laughing at things, like, it was mostly Holly that I was laughing at. I never found them funny. I don't know. Like, I never disliked them, but I was just like, I don't understand what the craze is.
I don't think it's that they were funny, but I think it's that they had a good bond together on camera. Like, they would bounce off each other very well. They would laugh. Sometimes it would seem as if it was a bit unprofessional because they're giggling and not presenting seriously, but then that's what everyone loved about them. Like, there was one time they must have gone to an award show, got drunk, and then showed up to work, not slept, not changed, like, and presented drunk in the morning, but everyone loved it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I never really got into it. I never watched Good Morning Britain or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I watched the Piers Morgan one because that was more my thing. You know, there was arguments every morning. But the Phillip and Holly one, every now and then I might have tuned in, and like everyone fancied Holly at some point, so I guess that was probably the only reason I was watching. But I've never had an opinion on either of them really.
But the point is that they're a good duo, basically.
On different social media platforms such as YouTube and Twitter. Now, in early 2020, Phillip Schofield, who had been married to his wife for 27 years and had 2 children with her, publicly came out as gay on This Morning, with Holly Willoughby interviewing him on This Morning and supporting him throughout his announcement. Now, a lot of the original response to Phillip Schofield's announcement about his sexuality...
I remember when that happened. I thought it was crazy that that happened, because I think he said he knows he's been gay for a long time, right?
Yeah.
And I was just like, your poor wife. Did she know the entire time, or did he drop it on her around the same time we found out?
The thing is, with that sort of situation, I don't really judge him or look at him in a negative light for what happened. I'll tell you why. Because of his age, you can see he's grown up in a time where it wouldn't have been, you wasn't accepted if you was gay. It's not how it is now. You couldn't just openly be gay. So there's a lot of men who have had to just force themselves to just get married and get on with life and not be gay, even though they want to be. Do you know what I mean? And I think now that we've gone into a time where it's more accepting and you can be yourself, maybe a lot more people are feeling comfortable to come out. It's very sad and tough on the wife. I couldn't imagine how she feels. However, I can understand why he's done it, because he probably just thought, I'm never going to be able to be openly gay, so I have to just get on with my life.
Does he have kids?
I'm not sure.
Man, I know. I hear it from his end, but... Nah.
Yeah, but look at, I know this is not really a good example, but look at like Kylie and Kendall Jenner, and their dad had a sex change and became a woman, and their kids, they've had to watch their dad change into another gender.
Those are the Kardashians. Yeah, they're all a hot mess. That whole family's a hot mess. They're all scarred for life. I remember watching Bruce Jenner as an Olympian. I would watch like reruns on YouTube or stuff, so I knew who Bruce Jenner was. I knew that they were like an Olympian. I knew they were like a revered all-American athlete or whatever.
Yeah.
And then when I saw the Woman of the Year thing and it said Caitlyn Jenner, I was so thrown off. That was like the beginning of this whole like... I don't even know what to call it, but I could just remember it being with Caitlyn Jenner, getting Woman of the Year, and me thinking to myself, how has Caitlyn Jenner won Woman of the Year? How has that happened?
Yeah.
The gender change is one thing. Woman of the Year? For what? For why did you win Woman of the Year? How do you even qualify for the category? Anyway, this isn't about Caitlyn Jenner.
That would have happened throughout life because, again, it wasn't accepting back then.
Okay, yeah.
It was quite positive. However, shortly after his announcement, allegations surfaced from insiders of This Morning and within the, British television industry, who claimed that Phillip Schofield had been grooming and having an affair with a runner on This Morning by the name of Matthew McGreevy. Now, McGreevy is 34 years Schofield's junior. He's 34 years younger than him. Phillip Schofield was alleged to have gotten Matthew McGreevy his position at This Morning when he was 18 years old.
Yeah, like I heard about this. This is crazy to me. Like, he's a nonce. He was diddling a child. That's where this is going, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't know much about...
That's why he lost his job, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know much about this whole situation. I've heard it here and there. I saw a funny picture of Phillip Schofield sucking on a vape and people like taking the piss saying, "I'll get the vape off the interview," or whatever. But listen, if the guy's a nonce, then throw him in the bin. I could care less. I don't care how many people love him or adored him. If he was grooming a child and it's come out now, I don't want to hear what he has to say. I'm not interested. He's the same as the rest of them. There's something suspicious about the new cleaner at the ITV studios. So ITV covered this up as well, didn't they? Just like the Jimmy Savile thing, and every other person that has done something on TV, and these news networks have covered it up.
And Phillip Schofield was a patron of a theatre company that Matthew McGreevy had attended when he was a child, meaning that the two had met and had known each other since Matthew McGreevy was 11 years old. With Phillip Schofield following Matthew McGreevy and sharing interactions with him on Twitter when, I believe, Matthew McGreevy was about 15 years old here. Here the two are caught on a dinner date together by British prankster Jack Jones. Furthermore, insiders claimed that the affair between the two was an open secret within This Morning, and many involved in the show, including Holly Willoughby, knew about it. However, the affair is alleged to have gone sour, with McGreevy mysteriously leaving This Morning to go and work on a rival show on ITV, Loose Women. And it's been said that McGreevy planned to go public over the affair, as he was furious that Scove had apparently fucked him over.
If Holly knew about it...
This is all alleged.
Allegedly, if Holly knew about it, then she's got to get thrown in the bin as well. I'm sorry. You can't be protecting a nonce.
Yeah, but she hasn't been thrown in the bin, so potentially...
Well, I mean, I can't imagine that her show's going to be as popular as it was. People, I guess people watched it for the both of them. And now that one has come out as a pedo and the other one's a pedo sympathizer, or at least covered up for one. I don't know why people would watch it.
I don't think it's their show, though. It's This Morning. It's just a show. You're going to watch it regardless as to who's presenting it. No?
Well, isn't Holly still presenting it?
Yeah, but regardless if they completely changed hosts, people are still going to watch it.
If they completely change both of them and bring on a new panel, then yeah. But if Holly's still there and people know she's been protecting Phillip, why would you watch it? I don't care how good she looks.
His words, and was going to go to the press and tell them everything, which would have allegedly forced Phillip Schofield to publicly come out. Now, it's further alleged that Phillip Schofield has a super injunction in place on the British media to stop this from being reported on. And it's further alleged that Phillip Schofield pays 30 grand a month to a crisis management team who brushed this under the carpet for him.
A crisis management team to cover up his bad deeds. Why am I not surprised, man?
You can do anything with money these days. Honestly, it's so corrupt out there. All you need is money, and you can do whatever you want.
So I don't really... I haven't been following this. What's the general sentiment towards Phillip Schofield now?
Well, look, let's watch part 2.
Oh, okay.
Okay, guys, this is part 2 of my rundown of the Phillip Schofield and Holly Willoughby drama that's currently going on. I'm having to remake this because even though I uploaded it an hour ago, it didn't come out of processing. It's a bit suspicious, isn't it? Anyway, in my previous video, I discussed the allegations that Phillip Schofield, the presenter of the daytime television series This Morning, groomed a former runner who worked on the show, Matthew McGreevy, having known McGreevy since he was 11 years old, allegedly, as well as responding to the insider information that this was an open secret within the production of This Morning and that several people, including Holly Willoughby, Phillip Schofield's co-host on This Morning, and the ITV bosses, ITV being the network that airs This Morning, knew about it. Now, even after these allegations gained some traction in early 2020 after Phillip Schofield came out as gay, a lot of the target demographic of This Morning were left unaware of them. As discussed in my previous video, this could be as a result of Schofield having a super injunction in place to stop the British media reporting on this, as well as paying substantial amounts of money to a crisis management team to stop it from coming out, allegedly, as well as allegations that ITV bosses are covering these allegations up to protect both Schofield's reputation and the networks. So yeah, a lot of people in Britain were unaware of these allegations.
This is why I tell people, don't believe everything you see on or hear on TV or on YouTube or wherever. There's crisis management teams that sweep things under the rug and completely make information disappear. I've had conversations with people where they're like, oh, that would never happen, or where did you hear that? I've had situations where I had seen something on the internet and then gone back to Google to look for it, and I can't find that shit anywhere. Now, I'm not saying that a crisis management team scrubbed it, but I remember there was one specific example. I can't say where it is on YouTube because they'll flag the video straight away, but I was having an argument with somebody about something that happened about 2-3 years ago. I think we all know what it is. And I remember reading all about it on Google, and I remember I went back to Google and the actual phrases that I was using were gone. They wouldn't pick up anything at all.
Yeah, but the fact that we can't even mention it on here now even just shows how...
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know.
It's crazy. There's so many things that go on that in these news networks that you even hear, like knowing people in the industry, you hear about things and it just gets brushed under the rug. And obviously you can't really say anything because it could be considered defamation. But the whole Channel 4, ITV, BBC, I've never trusted any of them. I'm not making any claims. I just, after the Jimmy Savile thing, I was like, fuck all these news networks or whatever they are.
Fast forward to September 2022, and Queen Elizabeth II had passed away. A lying in state ceremony for Queen Elizabeth II had commenced, which is where the body of a deceased official or a head of state is placed in a state building so that the general public can pay their respects. The main queue for Queen Elizabeth II's lying in state ceremony had a length of up to 10 miles and a maximum waiting time of over 24 hours. Many of the British public queued up in that time to pay their respects, including notable celebrities such as David Beckham. However, Phillip Schofield and Holly Willoughby skipped the queue to Queen Elizabeth II's lying in state ceremony to gain quicker and easier access. And this caused a lot of controversy. Prior to this, these two presenters were generally well liked by the British public as a collective, and all of a sudden, their target demographic had turned on them in their masses. It didn't matter if you were pro-monarchy or anti-monarchy, these two jumping the queue became a representation of privilege and the disconnect between those in the entertainment industry and the general public. This duo became public enemy number one, and with the spotlight placed on them, more people began looking into them. And more people began to find out about the allegations against Phillip Schofield and the allegations that Holly Willoughby knew all along.
They think that's hilarious because queuing up is like part of British culture, and that's what did them in. British people saw them jump the queue and they're like, nah, you ain't doing that. No. Every time I go somewhere and there's a queue, British people seem happy to be in it. I remember when the Pokemon launch was in, I think it was in one of the Westfields, and the queue was outside the door and people just look happy to be there.
Yeah, but I think it also, with the concept of why people were queuing up, it's quite disrespectful to even just cut all of that as well anyway.
But why would they get to jump the queue like that? What's the reason? I mean, you've heard the stories about the royal family, right? I'm not saying that they're true. I'm not saying that that they've done anything in particular other than, what's that prince's name that got outed? Was it Prince Andrew?
Oh, no idea. I don't keep on track with that.
It was one of them with the whole Epstein thing. Oh, pause it. This guy's pissing me off, man. He's doing a whole anime recap. Every week it gets to Sunday and One Piece comes out. And although I love One Piece, although I think it's the greatest, they do this 6-minute recap of the...
6 minutes?
Yeah, a 6-minute recap. I'm like, get to the point. They're in the middle of a fight, right? I'm on the part where... I know you don't watch it, but for the people that watch it, I know there's a couple of you in the comment section. We're watching Luffy and Kaido fight right now. Get to the fight. I want to see the conclusion of this.
This is the thing. I get that recaps sometimes are necessary. It's just like a little refresher, but sometimes it's just long because we remember. We know what's going on.
I love a recap when I come back to an anime that I haven't watched for a year. It's great because then I'm like, oh yeah, of course, but I don't have to go back and watch all the episodes. But when I've just watched the episode, but you know what? When One Piece doesn't do a recap, people that watch One Piece will know this. When there's no recap and it goes straight into the episode, someone's either about to be killed or some building's about to be destroyed in a fight or something tragic is going to happen. One of the last episodes where that just come out, it was a fight between Zoro and this guy called King, and it just went straight into it, and I was like, yeah, shit's about to go down. I had popcorn ready. I was still sitting in my box. I hadn't even woken up properly. I was still wiping the crust out of my eyes. I was
He
like,
was that excited.
yeah, because I don't know, people back in the day, you guys probably remember Dragon Ball Z used to drop every day.
Sorry. That
You
was
see this
accident. That was
disrespect?
accident. It was accident.
You remember back in the day when Dragon Ball Z used to drop, specifically on the Namek saga, Goku would spend 10 years powering up, but then it would get to the episode where you know shit's about to go down, and it would be like Sunday morning, and you wake up like fresh out of bed, no clothes on, haven't done anything, ain't brushed my teeth yet, turn the TV on, I'm still trying to open my eyes to see the fight, and there's all this lightning everywhere. Good times, man. I can't wait for Dragon Ball to come back. Anyway, let's get back to this nonsense.
And this was only exacerbated earlier this year in April 2023 when Phillip Schofield's brother, Timothy Schofield, a former civilian police officer, was found guilty of SAing a young boy over a 3-year period. Now, I'm not going to go into any details about this because, quite frankly, it's absolutely disgusting. All I'll say regarding his actions is that he was found guilty of 11 offences that took place between 2016 and 2019. So yeah, it's just evil.
So it's a legion of nonces in the Schofield family or something? What the hell
Wow,
is this?
that was a young boy as well.
But that's crazy. Timothy Schofield, I didn't even know he had a brother.
I didn't know either.
Wait, so Phillip Schofield's up there living the high life, noncing about, and then his stupid brother,
Who was a police officer who's supposed to protect people from people like him.
yeah. So they're just a pair of nonces, both brothers. Normally they say there's one bad apple in the family, but there was both of them. That's crazy, man.
Wow, it's really sad if you think about it.
In the aftermath of this, Phillip Schofield released a rather damning statement about his brother's conviction. In it, he states, "If any crime had ever been confessed to me by my sibling, I would have acted immediately to protect the victim and their family." However, during the trial, Phillip Schofield gave a written statement where he shared that Timothy had confided in him about his actions in September 2021, a year and a half prior to the trial. So which is it? Was he unaware, like he says here? Or was he aware, like he'd admitted in court? Now, Timothy Schofield was arrested after he was persuaded to see 2 counsellors and admit what he'd done.
Oh, you pussy! How dare you?
Here it goes.
This guy is noncing himself, then his nonce brother does it,
Wow.
and he throws his brother under the bus like he's a saint. Nah, man, Phillip Schofield, just throw him in
That's
prison.
outright wrong.
That's ridiculous, man. That's insane. I mean, like, I'm not absolving the brother, but you guys were like nonces in arms, and then you just threw your brother in arms under the bus. I mean, he's a nonce, so he's gonna lie all the time.
I mean, I'm no mathematician, but something isn't adding up here.
You dickhead.
And Phillip ends his statement by saying, "As far as I'm concerned, I no longer have a brother."
The nerve of this guy.
I just need a minute.
Unbelievable. Is there like a nonce tier list? There's a hierarchy of nonces, and Timothy Schofield's down here and Phillip's all the way up here. Like, that's what I'm like. You seem like an elitist nonce or something. I no longer have a brother. He's doing what you're doing. Who's the older brother here?
It's got to be him because the other guy looked quite young compared to him.
What, Timothy?
Yeah.
Timothy looked like a fucking, like he'd been through a war. He didn't look
But he
young.
looked younger than Phillip Schofield. Look at this guy.
Timothy looked like he'd been down the pub one too many times.
He still looked younger than him.
You think?
Yes.
All right, let's go with Phillip Schofield being the older brother. He just copied you. He copied his big bro. And then you throw him under the bus. We know what Phillip's done, or allegedly what's been said about him. He's allegedly a nonce. Whatever, I don't know. Is he a nonce? Is it alleged? Have they confirmed it?
Phillip Schofield could yet save his career after admitting fears of never working in TV again.
What? He's done. How can he work in
He
TV
reveals
again?
he's
This isn't a
still
conversation.
married.
And ITV, like, what's going to happen to them? They've been protecting this guy. The people that worked at whatever their stupid show was called, they all knew. What's going to happen to them? They're all accomplices in this.
Yo, what's going on, boys and girls? So Phillip Schofield has finally admitted to having a relationship with that Matt kid. All because I caught him on a date having drinks with that Matt kid in this video. 1 million followers! Woo!
I used to watch Jack Jones. Like, I used to see him in passing on the early days of Instagram or YouTube or something. I never really liked his content very much because I don't like pranksters. But It's crazy that your 1 million follower YouTube video is the one that outs Phillip Schofield and basically turns his life upside down. That's crazy. Do you think that's a coincidence?
Yeah.
That is a crazy coincidence. Look at Phillip Schofield's face. Okay. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh my God.
Yeah.
No, I won't put that in the video. It'll start
No,
a
don't put that in the
shitstorm.
video. But yeah, I just thought I'd tell you whilst we're on the topic.
Crazy. I'll put that part in the video so people are like, what did she say? That's crazy. That's crazy. Is that a true story?
True story. I was
I'm gonna have to bleep that out as well.
And after I did the video, he begged me not to post the video up because he said it could ruin my career. And I said, how could it ruin your career? And he said he didn't want to get into it. But we all know the truth now, don't we, Philip? And the truth is, he was grooming his kid from the age of 10 years old, saying he's going to give him this, give him that. But in fact, he was just giving him a bumming. And when that Matt kid wanted to come out and talk about it, it made him sign a contract where he wasn't allowed to speak about it. And he was paying 30 grand a month to take down any article that was talking about their relationship. And the really fucked up thing about it is that ITV knew all about it. They knew about Philip grooming his kid from the age of 10 years old. And what they did, they...
from the age of 10. Like that's actually so wild and bizarre.
That's crazy to me,
That
man.
is so crazy. 10.
But like, this is my take on it. Phillip Schofield, if he's done this allegedly, it's all alleged right now, right? Then he's a piece of shit. His brother's a piece of shit. But what really gets me here is the people around him that knew that didn't say anything. I've said loads of times that there's a lot of things that I'll go to war with over my friends. Like, I'll be there for them. Touching children's not one of them. And my friends know that, and they probably have the same
Absolutely
sentiment
not.
towards me as well. Like, even if my best friend was touching children, I can't have someone like
I'd
that around me.
snitch.
Yeah, I would snitch on
I'd
that.
snitch.
There are lines. There's a lot of things. If my friend knocked on my door and was like, bro, I just beat the tar out of somebody, I'd be like, cool, we can talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
If my friend knocked on the door and said that I took someone's life, we could have a conversation about it. There's nuances to that situation. It could have been self-defense. It could have been an accident. If my friend knocks on the door and says, I've been touching kids for 5 years, I'll be like, you better start running, because
Yeah.
if the police don't get to you and I get to you, I'm gonna have to teach you a lesson. Like, there's no nuances to touching children. It's like raping a woman, right? You might have an argument with your wife. You might say some things that you might not mean, but if you grape her, there's no like conversation to be had there. So this is one of those situations where I'm sorry, but ITV and everybody involved, if they were aware of what was going on, they should get exactly the same treatment that Phillip Schofield's getting. They were enablers. They allowed him to do this for years, allegedly.
made the lad sign a contract where he wasn't allowed to talk about it, and they told Philip to come out as being gay just to try and protect themselves. And the thing is, we've seen this before. We've seen the BBC
Interesting. Do you think that's why he came out as gay?
What's that actor called? It was a fantastic actor, but he was a kiddie fiddler, and then he came out as gay to sort of like deflect it. Kevin Spacey.
Wait, what film's he from?
I think he's in House of Cards. I never watched House of Cards, but he was
I heard of
in.
the name before, yeah.
He's in so many films. He was in that film with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, Slevin. You know when they're like, what's in the box? What's in the box? And it was his wife's head or something. Spoilers.
What's in the box? What's in the fucking box? Give me the gun.
Oh shit! I just ruined that film for everyone.
Yeah, thanks. I ain't seen it either.
You haven't seen it? You weren't gonna watch it anyway. They had him come out as gay as a deflection for his nonsense of children. His one was really creepy because he released a video of afterwards with this like Freemason ring on, saying that, oh, you guys exposed me, but I know all your secrets. It is a creepy video.
I know what you want. Oh, sure, they may have tried to separate us, but what we have is too strong, it's too powerful. I mean, after all, we shared everything, you and I. I told you my deepest, darkest secrets. I showed you exactly what people are capable of. I shocked you with my honesty, but mostly I challenged you and made you think. And you trusted me, even though you knew you shouldn't. So we're not done, no matter what anyone says. And besides, I know what you want. You want me back. Of course, some believed everything and had just been waiting with bated breath to hear me confess it all. They're just dying to have me declare that everything said is true and that I got what I deserved. Wouldn't that be easy if it was all so simple? Only you and I both know it's never that simple, not in politics and not in life. But you wouldn't believe the worst without evidence, would you? You wouldn't rush to judgments without facts, would you? Did you? No, not you. You're smarter than that. Anyway, all this presumption made for such an unsatisfying ending. And to think it could have been such a memorable send-off.
Just before it continues, and I let the second half play, this video creeped me out. Because
What was this video for?
So when it came out that Kevin Spacey had relations with underage boys, he then came out and said, "Oh, I'm gay," and it was like a deflection thing, and
So
basically,
it was with boys as well.
yeah, like the Hollywood elites threw him under the bus, and then he released this video, and it's very like it can have like a double meaning, like he's acting, he's just doing a part, or he's talking to people that threw him under the bus, basically warning them. The creepy thing about Kevin Spacey's situation is that some of the people that said that he did it ended up dying.
Oh.
People started disappearing. I think
He can't be that powerful.
I don't know, but if I'm being 100% honest with you, there's a lot of people I'll chat shit to their face. Kevin Spacey's not one of them. There's something
Really?
about him that creeps me out.
Are we going to die now?
No, I mean,
We're going to get a phone call. You're going to die in 7 days.
if Kevin Spacey called my phone threatening me, I'd actually be shook.
No.
Yeah, I'd be shook if he called me.
Have you seen American Beauty?
American Beauty.
Mm-hmm. So American Beauty, he's in that film and he's like the dad and he is perving on his young teenage daughter's best friend.
Is it a boy?
No, it's a girl.
Oh, okay.
But it's just he's basically a nonce in that, and it's just
Yeah, well,
when I found out this, I was like, oh,
life imitates
what are the
art.
odds? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you and I have learned nothing else these past years, it's that in life and art, nothing should be off the table. We weren't afraid, not of what we said, and not of what we did, and we're still not afraid. Because I can promise you this. If I didn't pay the price for the things we both know I did do, I'm certainly not going to pay the price for the things I didn't do. Oh, of course, they're going to say I'm being disrespectful, not playing by the rules, like I ever played by anyone's rules before. I never did, and you loved it. Anyhow, despite all the poppycock, the animosity, the headlines, the impeachment without a trial, despite everything, despite even my own death, I feel surprisingly good. And my confidence grows each day that soon enough you will know the full truth. Well, wait a minute. Now that I think of it, you never actually saw me die, did you? Conclusions can be so deceiving. Miss me?
So, did he film that movie as a way of
This first comment sums it up perfectly. If he is innocent, this is brilliant. If he is guilty, this is disturbing. And I don't think it ever came out whether he did it or not, but I know that people are accused that
is
people
he alive still?
Yeah, Kevin Spacey is alive. So yeah, 3 of them as of 2019, I believe, had died.
And how can he not be even investigated for this?
One of Kevin Spacey's accusers dies by offing themselves. The theory is that Kevin Spacey is not just an actor, and he's the kind of person you don't want to mess with. And when I watched that, I watched it with my boys. We were all sitting in the room watching it, and I turned to them and we all had the same reaction. I was like, yeah, this guy's about it. He's one of those guys where he's like, maybe you don't want to mess with him. I don't think maybe he is, because Phillip Schofield skipped the line for the royalty, so maybe he's got some kind of power as well. But Why did I start
We
talking
came
about
here
Kevin Spacey?
for Phillip Schofield, and now we're just looking into Kevin Spacey.
Protecting Jimmy Savile when he was noncing kids for over 10 years. And the funny thing is that I said this years ago. I said what he was doing. I said he was grooming this kid. No one believed me. You believe me now? And it's all because of that video I'd done, which showed he was on a date. And he even admitted to being on a date to me at the time and said this video could ruin my career. And it just shows why, doesn't it? It's funny how this world works. Because if I wouldn't have done that video, it'd probably still be working at ITV doing the same shit right now. You can thank me now, boys and girls. Peace.
Do you believe that he would have turned around and said to Jack Jones, I'm on a date and this video could ruin my career?
No, I don't believe Jack Jones.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
I think that Jack Jones got lucky with his recording. If that is a crazy coincidence, but I think he got lucky with his recording. But either way, like, I haven't really followed the Phillip and Holly saga much. I've never really been into their TV show. My stance on this is he should never work in TV again, even though it doesn't mean much because I don't trust most people that work in TV. Holly and the rest of the ITV crowd, anyone that was working there that knew about it should all face the same or similar consequences. I don't think she should be allowed to go on TV if it was an open secret that he was diddling a child.
Right, deep breath. Firstly, are you okay? I hope so. It feels very strange indeed sitting here without Phil. And I imagine that you might have been feeling a lot like I have. Shaken, troubled, let down, worried for the well-being of people on all sides of what's been going on, and full of questions. You, me, and all of us at This Morning gave our love and support to someone who was not telling the truth, who acted in a way that they themselves felt that they had to resign from ITV and step down from a career that they loved. That is a lot to process. And it's equally hard to see the toll that it's taken on their own mental health. I think what unites us all now is a desire to heal for the health and well-being of everyone. I hope that as we start this new chapter and get back to a place of warmth and magic that this show holds for all of us, we can find strength in each other. And from my heart, can I just say thank you for all of your kind messages and thank you for being here this morning. Myself, Josie, Dermot, Alison, Craig, and every single person that works on this show will continue to work hard every single day to bring you this show that we love. So on that note, Josie,
Come here, you. Bring it in. Bring it in.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. I need a Josie cuddle. Oh. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. All we can do now is be the family that we are.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Oh, that's just performative nonsense, man. If she knew, I don't care what she says, she should be thrown out with Phillip. You're protecting a nonce. I don't care if you did it or not. You're protecting them. I'm sorry. That's just my stance on it. People might not agree. Maybe I'm being too harsh on Holly, but I'm sorry. If we knew that, I don't know, let's say we had a producer and he was noncing children and we kept it quiet, I'm sure nobody would forgive us. We're enabling him. We're allowing him to go and ruin some kid's life and potentially ruin others.
If you're turning a blind eye to that behavior, if you know about it and you don't care, you're accepting and encouraging something that's so wrong. Like, how can you look at that kind of behavior and not see an issue in it or not think that you need to take any further action? That's crazy, absurd, bizarre, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much more to say on it. He's a nonce. I'm scared of Kevin Spacey, but you guys let me know what you think in the comment section. I don't know if that video was about House of Cards or if he was warning people to not fuck with him. I'm more interested in Kevin Spacey.
It was pretty clever, though.
It was clever. It was. He's such a good actor. Such a shame.
Cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah, but he's a nonce. So. Well, allegedly. Don't come after me.